Alright, hello everyone. So, welcome to the second episode of how to learn Flutter and how to make your single program or a single piece of code which will make app for your web, for your Android as well as for your iOS. Okay, so let's continue where we left the first session. So, let's open up quickly the Android Studio, and I'm also going to open up my simulators. So I'm going to open my iOS simulator, which is my iOS phone 12 Pro Max, and additionally I'm going to open up my Android emulator as well. Okay, so as I told you, if you close your Android Studio without closing the app, it will open up your last app. So this was our app which we were working on, and as I told you, not to get scared with so much of code, as most of this code is purely comments. And today what we are going to do is delete all this piece of code, and we are going to write our first hello world program. So let me keep my iPhone emulator on the side, and I will keep my Android simulator on the side as well. Alright, so before we continue and delete our program, what is the default codes which is already written? So let's understand what exactly it is. Now on the top, as you see, there is a Flutter material dot import. Now just like you make imports in the C language or C++ language or in your Java language or any language you have already worked on, be it .NET, C#, Visual Basic previously. So dot is the basic file which you need to import is the material. So material is actually the design language. Now if you are familiar with little bit of coding, so you might be aware of the main function. The main function is the entry point of the program. So every program has a main function which is the entry point, where your program knows how to enter the program, and then once it finds the main program, it will enter via main program and then starts executing the code. Now if you see it clearly, it is going to run a app of class my app. So my class app is over here. What it will do is it will create this app and it will execute it. Now this is the class which will get executed, but if you see it in more details, it has some things like stateless widget. Now the first thing which come to your mind is what exactly is a stateless widget, and then it is going to create a widget, create a build function, and it is going to return certain things, which is basically a material app. Now what is happening is everything in Flutter is a widget. So your text is a widget, your headers is a widget, your icon is a widget, your images are a widget, how the things are placed, whether they are placed in a column or they are placed horizontally or vertically, columns or rows, they are also a widget. If you have to put up something in a certain fashion or in a certain design pattern, then of course you need to run a widget. If you want to make a scrolling theme whereby you have a long list of 100 items, of course not all 100 items can be seen in a single page, so you have to do certain transitions, you have to put a scroll bar. Everything is a widget in Flutter. Now let me open up a presentation, and that probably will help you understand a little bit, and it will also clear some of your doubts. In case you have certain questions on these things, feel free to put it in your comments, and as I said, please like, subscribe, share, and pass it on this information to more people who wants to learn Flutter. Alright, let's go to the presentation. Maybe if I make it a full screen. So as we said, there are two type of widgets or two type of states. One is stateless and stateful. So stateless and stateful classes are basically what exactly their name is. So as you see on the top, let me put up my software pointer, laser pointer. So if you see over here, stateless widget is just a widget, whereby a stateful widget is a widget plus a state combination. So now you may be in little bit more if you want to go that what is a widget and what is a widget plus state. Now a difference is over here. You have some input data goes into a widget will tell you how the GUI will look like, and once you have that design patterns and the flow of how the how the text will be, how the different icons will be, how the different buttons will be, how the different list icons will be, your checkboxes, your radio buttons, everything you want to put it on your screen is a widget. And then once you define those widgets, then it will get rendered. Now of course some data might change. In a text box, if it is written ABC and you might want to change it to XYZ, so those rendering with the data input changes, it will get re-rendered. So over here the widget itself is not changing, so that's a stateless. In stateful you have a state also. So in over here you only get the data input change, but over here the data and the state gets changed. So not to get confused, as we learn it we probably will understand it more. So let me move a little bit further. So the other thing which you need to keep it in mind is what is scaffold. We will not use it initially, but of course it is going to be used as we move forward. So basically scaffold is a Flutter widget, and it is very flexible class. So what it happens is all the widgets, all the combination of widgets, be it text boxes, anything, you can then put those widgets within this scaffold class. So scaffold, like the name suggests, it creates a visual scaffold, and all the material design widgets, as I told you, material is your design language in Flutter. So all the widgets, it will get a visual design within that scaffold. Alright, so this is how a typical app looks like. So you have an app, this is a screen you people will see on the mobile, whether it is iPhone or Android or even on the web. Then on the top generally is a toolbar where you write the title or certain languages. It might have certain icons, like you might have seen 3 arrows over here or 3 arrows over here. There might be exit button or a search button depending upon the different apps. So you have seen this is your content area, this is your play area. This is where you put up all your text here, your radio buttons, your list, your anything, any input box you want, any submit button you want. And somewhere at the bottom you might have navigation buttons like go back, go to front, go back to home page, or any type of buttons you want. And somewhere over here you might have seen a floating button. In our previous chapter you might have seen there is a plus button over here. When you click plus on it, whatever is written over here get incremented by 1. In case you have not seen the first chapter, I will put up a link in the description. I suggest you go through it. That will give you a little bit of basics on how to create your first language, how to create your first program, and how to run it. So it will clear some of your doubts, and it will also, you can say, brings a little bit of comfort to you on using Flutter and Android Studio. Alright, so that's it. And if you see it on a high level, this is your background image or any text language. Basically this is your app bar. App bar might have certain icons, it might have certain other additional icons on left hand side and right hand side, and that's a typical app how it looks like. And everything over here will reside in a scaffold. Okay, so I hope a little bit of how a typical app looks like it might be clear to you. Any questions, put it in the comment box and I'll definitely reply to them. So that's the end of the presentation. Let's come back to the meat of it. So as I told you, every app should have a material design language. It will definitely have a main function. This main function is calling a myapp class, and that myapp class is going to create certain widgets. Now these widgets is what we will see over here. So what we are going to do over here is we are going to delete all of it and we will create our own class. So it is returning a material app. That material app will get rendered. So maybe what we will do is everything at the bottom, let's first delete that. We will create, because we are creating a hello world program, so we are going to delete all of it. Then what we will do is we are also going to delete everything inside it. So your material app starts from here and ends over here, and I'm going to delete everything in it. So what it is going to do is it is returning nothing. It is returning a empty widget which has nothing in it. But as a function, if you see, it has a material design language, it has a main function. That main function is calling myapp. That myapp will get executed and it is going to build these widgets. These widgets are actually empty, which means nothing will get designed. All right, so let's try to run it on a iPhone. So this is our iPhone, and let's run it and see how it looks like. Okay, I've clicked the play button and it is now going to compile it. After compiling, it is going to install the app on the iOS phone, and once the app get installed, it is going to run it. And then we will see, most likely what we'll see is, if we have not made any mistake, we will see a empty screen. And why it is empty screen? Because there is no app. As you see, it's all blank. So we have not designed anything, so there is nothing, and that's where you see this error. Okay, let's stop it. And what we are going to now do is, let's start making the app. So let's give the app a title. So we have a material design over here, and we are going to give it a title. So to give it a title, just write the keyword title followed by a colon, and what title you want to give it. So you can put up double quotes or a single quote, the way you want it. So my first Flutter app. Yep. So that's it. And after every task, you need to give it a comma to separate it. All right. So now our app has a title, which will be written on the top. And now we need to create a home. So how to create a home? Just give it a home key. And as I told you, all the widgets will lie inside a scaffold. So let's make a scaffold. So we create a scaffold, and this will be an empty scaffold to start with. And again, as I told you, everything ends with a comma. Now let's try to run it again and see what happens. So we run it. Let's wait for the program to recompile and see how it goes. So the program is now running the Xcode build. It is going to convert the program into binary language, which will get implemented on the iPhone, and then we are going to run it. So it took 14 seconds, not too big of time. So as you see, again empty, nothing in it. And why nothing in it is because we gave it a title, but we didn't give it a app bar. So let's give it a app, a heading. Now I also told you in the last session that we have this Flutter reload and Flutter hot restart, and we need not to do a start stop every time. So this is how the app will look on iPhone, and similar way this is how the app will look on a Android phone also, if you want to see how it looks on Android. So I have chosen my Android emulator and I have clicked compile button. So I'm going to run the app on an Android simulator also. So as we seen in the last session also, and in this video also, it is now have opened up another session, and it is now compiling a Android phone. Okay, while this is compiling and this is happening, let's continue on our app. So what we need to do is, as I told you, we need to create a app window, or you can say app bar. So within a home, as I told you, everything lies within that scaffold. So let's split the scaffold. We just press the enter. So now we have space to write inside the scaffold bar. So as you see, your iPhone as well as your Android is absolutely blank with nothing in it. So now what we are going to do is give it a app bar. So let's give it a app bar. So within the app bar, it is of type app bar, and this will be our app bar. Now this app bar is again empty. We need to give something in it, and let's give it a title. So the title of our app bar is going to be a text. You can put up icons if you like, but we are going to keep it a text. And as I told you, you can write anything within double quotes, or you can write in Flutter everything within a single quote as well. So let's try a single quote this time, and we write welcome to my app. All right, so now this is going to be my header of my app. So this is my iPhone, this is my Android app, and this is where the Android main is running, and this is where iPhone main is running. So what we need to do is, we need not to start stop, we just do a hot reload. So okay, that's how you see. Now we, on the top we see welcome to my app. If we do a hot restart on my Android emulator, it is going to show. Now again, this is on the left hand side, this is in the center, and that's where our design specific thing comes. If you want to put everything in the center, we can put this text inside a center widget. Okay, so now still the body is empty. Let's write something in the body also. Now my app bar is done, so my app bar is ending here. Let's go down and we write a body function. Let's write a body function. So again, within a body, let's give it a text, and that text will be hello world. Okay, so as I seen, I have used double quote this time. And now let's run it again on Android first. You see, we see hello world over here. Let's run, we go to Android window, iPhone window, and let's give it a hot reload. Again, almost 400 millisecond, and hello world is written. So as you've seen, we are writing the code on the fly and we are running the code on the fly. There is no need to start and stop, and that's a very big advantage of hot reload, which makes our job very, very easy. Now again, as I told you, it is not in the center and we want to make it a center. So what we are going to do, we are going to put this text within another widget, and that widget can be a center widget. So let's do that. So what we are going to do is, let's keep it down, or maybe we delete this, or maybe not delete, because we then need to type it. Just write it a center. Now this body will have a center as a widget, as a container. So everything within the center will get centrally placed. So what we are going to do is, this is my center widget. Now we need to put something in the center. So I'm going to cut this. I will make cut, and I'm going to put it inside the center widget. Okay, I hope that clear. Now there is an error, because center widget, we need to define that this is a child of a center widget. So what we need to do, as you see, center widget needs to have a widget child. So it should be a child, and that child will be a text bar. Of course, it can have multiple. You can have one more text. So now let's run it again. Let's run it on iPhone. Let me do a hot reload. Now as you see, it has come in the middle. You want to do a hot reload on your Android as well. Again, on the Android. But as I told you, you can say the beauty of working with Flutter is you can make a single app for your iPhone, for iOS. If you want to open another emulator and open, let's say, iPad, it will come over here and you can run it. So maybe first let's run it on a Chrome. So let's choose a Chrome and let's run the app on a Chrome browser. So now all these design language which we have written will come as is on the web browser as well. So again, on a web browser also we can do a hot reload the way we are debugging. But generally, if it is working on one app and you are not making something app specific changes or a platform specific thing, it generally works. Okay, so now the app is running. Let me minimize a little bit so that you can see the code as well as the window at the same time. And now it is running. So as you see, hello world, and it is in the middle, and your title which you have given me, my first Flutter app, is right at the top. Okay, so that's what app looks like. As I told you, you can have multiple things. So what we can do is, if you want to have multiple things, we probably want to put it in a columns. So column 1 contain hello world 1, column 2 contain hello world 2, column 3 contain, just like a column you see it in your Excel or the way column behaves in a table, exactly the same fashion. So instead of typing, and another beauty if you are using Flutter in your Android Studio is, just click on this child and you will see this yellow bulb icon or yellow icon which will give you certain shortcuts. So what it says, you want to put this child in another center inside a center doesn't make sense. It might be required in certain cases where you are using multiple or a nested look and a feel. But in our cases, let's try to put it under a column. So we wrap it in a column. So it has done all the, because now column there can be multiple columns. So instead of a child, this column widget have children, because there can be multiple columns. But a center will only have one widget which is in center. So now what is happening is the center has a child which is a column, and column have children which can be a multiple widgets. So let's try to make it as child hello world 1, hello world, or maybe hello world line 1, and maybe we copy it again because there are children. Of course we can have multiple. We will have another text and another text. So line 2 and line 3. So okay, so let's do a hot restart on our Chrome browser, and hello world line 1, line 2 and line 3. So let's run it on iPhone. Hello world line 1, line 2 and line 3. So as you see, they are still in the center. So on your Android, let's open up the Android window and do a hot reload, and line 1, line 2, line 3. So if you do not want center and you just want a column, that's also okay. This is your center column is ending. Let's delete the center, and of course we need to delete the child also, because column is itself a widget. So you have a body has multiple columns, a single column, and single column have children's, and those children's are line 1, line 2 and line 3. And let's run it again on iOS device first. So let's bring the iOS device, do a hot reload. Now they are no longer center aligned. Same way, if you want to run it on a web, reload again, a web browser, it's reloading, and they are no longer center aligned. If you make a hot restart on your Android, they just moved. Okay, so as you see, let me go through it again for the sake of understanding it again. We have made a material design import. Material design is basically the design language of Flutter, and like every program language, it has a main function. That main function is calling myapp class. Myapp class is a stateless widget. Within the stateless widget, we have a build function which is actually building all your widgets and then rendering them. So what this build function will do is it will return a material app. Again, I said material is the design language. That material app, this function is ending over here because it's a return, so it is ending with a semicolon, and rest everything is ending with a column. So it has a title which is your top heading, and this is the top heading as you see it on your web browser. And of course the home is a scaffold. What a scaffold does is it holds all your widgets. And what kind of widgets we have given it, if I just summarize it, we have given it two type of widgets. App bar, the app bar is the heading, so this blue color is your app bar. In the app bar, what we have done is a text button which says welcome to my app, or if you want to change it, welcome to my Flutter app, just change it to my Flutter app and just execute it again. And since I haven't done execution on or a hot reload on Chrome browser, now you can see the heading has changed to welcome to my Flutter app. It is still the same on Android and iOS, and the reason it is still the same on Android and iOS is because I have not done a hot reload. Okay, so that's how the app bar looks like. Of course, in more detailed app, we will see how to put up more icons over here, maybe a search button or an exit button, or a triple dots or a triple columns, triple lines, which will open up a certain submenu. Of course, those are also widgets, and we will see how do we do that. So the second part other than the app bar is a body. So within that body, we have put up a column, and that column have multiple childrens. So those children are, we generally put up 3 lines, hello world line 1, line 2 and line 3, and that's it. So very simple. You think of how you want to design your program, and what you are thinking, just keep on writing in a textual fashion. There can be more details to the text class. As you point your mouse on it, you'll see it has some more functions like text style. So what we will do is, in our next session or in our next chapter, we will go into a little bit more details of these widgets, which will tell you how to, you can say, customize it the way you want. You may want this hello world line 1 in maybe green color, hello world line 2 in red color, hello world line 3 in yellow color, or you may want some icon in the front, or you may want to increase some more spacing between them, or put up a padding so that to make it visually more appealing. So what we are going to do next is adding more widgets, and probably in subsequent sessions I will make you go through certain widgets which are more commonly used, and then in the end we will make up a little bit of you can say complex app which has scroll bars, which have multiple list items, which have icons, which have buttons, and how do we move from page 1 to page 2, and how do we scroll from one bar to another bar. And if you want a little bit more details like how to make your, you can say, you may want to present certain data in, let's say, a graph, we can do that also. Or you may want to have some custom, you can say, cards or a custom widgets, and how do you make your program more flexible. So those are the videos which are coming up, so stay tuned, and please subscribe, like the video, share the video with your friends, and share that knowledge. Alright, so that's it for this session, and I see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.